It's a beautiful Saturday morning. Welcome to Atlantic Television Network. This is Sports Talk. On the show today, our focus will be on exploring the fascinating career of a football icon who made a significant impact in both European and international football. Peter Osaze Odewingwe, from his early days in Nigeria to playing in some of the top leagues across Europe, and then moving on from there to golf. I will take a look at his excellent form and how far he's gone, and of course I also bring to you the legacies that that are behind his achievement. Ekpo Temple is my name. Many thanks for being part of the conversation this morning. We're going on a short break now. When we come back, we will of course introduce our guest and we'll get started this morning. All right, welcome back from that break. If you're just joining us, this is Atlantic Television Network. Sports Personality is the program, and of course, you're about to see or get to watch, how we're going to unravel, top player on the show today. But first off, let's introduce the guests in the studio, and of course, we have the guys that will be doing justice to the analysis of major issues here. Joining me live now is Mr. Abiodun Shanake. Mr. Abiodun, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
It's Saturday morning and of course very early. I'm sure that you slept very well yesterday night.
Thank you very much.
Okay, let's get started with his background. Osazo Doinge, of course started his career here in Nigeria before he moved to top leagues in Europe. He was born in Pakistan, Turkestan, before he finally got his hands on to playing in top clubs in Europe, and that alone really affected a lot about him. He was born on July 15th, 1981, to a Nigerian father and a Russian mother. He moved to Nigeria at the age of 2 and then began his career with Bender Insurance in his in the Nigerian Premier Football League. His impressive performance caught the eyes of European scouts, leading to a move to Belgium, where he joined La Vere in 2002, but it was at Lille in France where he made his name. He scored 26 goals and then played in the UEFA Champions League. He attracted the attention of bigger clubs, and from there the rest, say, is history. So let me start with you, Mr. Abiodun. Peter Osaze transited from Nigeria, where he was playing in the Premier League, to Europe. The big question is, how significant was this move in shaping his career?
Thank you very much. I feel that one of the first actually know that Nigeria, one of the problems we have as a country, I mean, in our football, is institution. We don't have institutions that develop players. We have institutions that is always just first looking for money-centered institutions. So I would say that we have talents, but we have lack of institution, and so we have institutions that always kill a lot of talent. So now going to Osase, I feel that his going to Europe actually helped him a lot because of the institution that is present in that setting. That kind of setting is actually going to quickly bring out your potential if you are serious. But yeah, we have players. I mean, if you know players, since I've been in secondary school, there are players, and I can tell you that that I know that are very good and they have a lot of potentials, but suddenly you won't hear about them again. We don't have institution, so it is actually very, very significant. I mean, going to Europe for him is actually very significant. I have a handful of players that, like I have a player in one of the MPFL clubs now that is my brother. I knew when he was in Nigeria, and at a point he went to Spain for developmental program, and by the time he came back, he became a beast. Something had happened to him where he had gone to, and today, everywhere he goes, you know that this guy has improved technically. So that buttresses the point that we have a problem with our with our system. We have a problem with our institution. And if we don't deal with it, definitely we will still continue to kill a lot of potential. Not everybody will have the opportunity of going to Europe like at the early stage, like Osazeo doing. That's what I was saying.
And the other person would have wanted to, I think that since he was born in Pakistan, you know, although it's strictly family matters, but when he moved at the age of 2, you know, that means he was more aligned to the father, because not many even knew that Osaze played in the local league here. And at the time he moved back, you know, home, born to a mother who is from Pakistan. So one would have, well, a Russian mother rather, one would have thought that Osaze will grow from Europe, you know, and make his mark. But I mean, he has some stints, played very well with Bender Insurance. So it tells you that his early childhood was a mass in Nigeria. No surprises why he had a lot of Nigerian culture, even if okay. I'm sure we also have Mr. Sunday Ogunbiade. Mr. Sunday, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Temple and my colleague.
Yes.
Trust you guys are good.
We are very good. You had Mr. Ashunaike there, talking about Osaze's transition, and I asked, you know, how well do you know Osaze from his early childhood? Are you aware that he played for Bender Insurance Sunday?
Of course, you know, Osaze happened to be my in-law. What I mean in-law, I mean is someone who is from Benin, Edo States.
That's correct.
And coincidentally, my wife's surname is Juliet Odewenge. And if you know the full name, Osase also bears Osase Odewenge. And a lot of people in my wife's working place, before you know, she finally got married and they had a change of name, you know, they used to call her, your brother has called yesterday, you know, when Nigeria beat South Africa 4-2, the 2004 Nations Cup. So they used to disturb her, and then, you know, we never married then. Up to 2010, you know, they used to think my wife is from that, you know, Osase's family and all that. But just that, it's just a coincidence that both of them bear Odewenge, you know, as surname.
Okay.
And as you said, the Osase Odewenge, you know, was born in you know, Uzbekistan, then USSR, and now after, you know, 2 years, you know, he followed. You know, they took him to Nigeria, and he had a stint at 17 years. He had a stint with AS Racing before he became a professional, you know, footballer with the same Edo State, being in an you know, say through his father and all that. And afterwards, when this guy matured, and a lot of people saw, you know, the race, I think he had 19 goals that time. You know, one of the fantastic, you know, performances. You know. Then they went back to Russia. Play. Don't forget that he had what's it called? This academic stuff, you know, promoting Moscow and all that. The thing I love about the guy is that he did not disconnect, you know, from the roots. He did not forget his base. Some of them like that, they will play for Russia, they will play for UK, they will play for, but he still came back. Play for Nigeria, and not only play for Nigeria, he's one of the players that never hide his feelings. Don't forget that he kind of had altercation with Coach Ahmed Shuaib when we lost in the 2010 Nations Cup. He had issue with Las Lagabak, you know, had issue with you know, few coaches for you know, buying out of the tournament, you know. Meaning that anytime it loses Nigerian shirt, you always see Osase Odewenge, you know, expressing his, you know, displeasure with the kind of probably the team selection or the kind of tactics used by the coach. So he's someone that he is always a leader that always wants to win. 2008, look at what he did. He was the captain. And the Nigerian lost in the final against that early experience Argentina. Even though a lot of people saw that, you know, loss, you know, as a controversial loss against Nigeria. Anytime Nigeria Olympics team are meeting Argentina, don't forget that the same thing happened in 2005. So Osase Odewinde is a man of the nation. People saw him as an outcast because he was born because of the fact that he was born in Europe, then his color and all that. But he's deeply rooted here. He's a man that loves his roots, a man that loves Nigerians. He's a man that associates himself with the black. He does not speak in that direction. So to me, Osase Odewinde had a root here in Nigeria. AS Racing in Lagos, then better insurance as a professional player, then the jet out of the country, and yet, he's still within the distance, of Nigeria, and he's always loves to be associated with Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sunday. And let me come back now to Mr. Biodun. From the trajectory, you can now see how far he moved. Let's take a look at his exploit in the English Premier League, where he played for clubs like West Brom. And we saw all that transferred, okay, when he wanted to make a quick move to QPR and all that play that. He's a media-friendly guy, you want to ask. He's somebody who understands, how far, what he wants to achieve in life. But then he had that blip in his career. Don't also forget that before that time, he's one of the top scorers. In fact, he won English the best player of the month at some point. But all that, it looks like his career, with all those stellar performances, goal scoring fortunes, his career dimmed when he wanted to force a transfer from West Brom.
Yeah, I think Osase, looking back, I think there was a mix up, because he didn't know that the negotiation had actually broken down. So he felt that the negotiation had actually gone through. So he thought that the negotiation had actually gone through. I think that was a mix up. And the English fans, in the first instance, if they feel that you are one of their best players and they don't want you to go, and then you want to leave, what will be tied to that you come back to that team. Any mistake will not be forgiven. Even if you don't make mistake, it will be very, very difficult to work your way back into the heart of the fan. It was a very, very difficult situation for him, because unfortunately there was a mix-up in communication, and then he had already traveled all the way, thinking that the negotiation had been concluded. But unfortunately, it wasn't a good one, and being the fact that it's not an English player, it was going to be a difficult moment.
Going to be because Sunday, I mean, look at the career. As at when he moved to Lokomotiv Moscow, he was purchased for 10 million euros. When he left West Brom to Cardiff, he was sold for 2.25 million euros. Look at the comparison. That shows downward spiral, and not a very good one. Could that be attributed to the first transfer he made at West Brom?
That this is just a similar thing that happens to Victor Osimhen in recent time.
Yeah.
That he's moved to Chelsea and the likes. Went unsuccessful, and that's made him became subjects of loan to Galatasaray. And when someone who was being priced as 400 million euro, 120 million euro, and the deal could not say true, definitely the market
will drop.
The market of the player drops. In fact, it happened to Didier Drogba. It happens to this guy Pogba of Manchester United. Now seeking for a loan. So definitely, when a deal could not be materialized or could not say true, it will affect the market of such player. It globally, And that is why most of them usually sack their manager, for not handling such professionally, because it always makes them subject of the media. But going back, the first question you asked my colleague about being a media friendly, in recent times, when one of my guys, I want to mention, is a media guy from Daily FM here in Lagos, the guy said when Osasi arrived Nigeria at the airport, and he was now chasing that his car where Osase was to have a conversation with him. He said both the security men did not allow him. Then also the driver was trying to zoom. He said he had the driver to stop. He has the security guys to let the guy interview him as a human being. That is only a privilege to be a star, a football star. That they should respect media and ensure that it gives them the attention. And the guy said it himself on air about how friendly, how good, how legendary Osase Odewinge is, to not only the media and Nigerians. Anytime he sees Nigerian, he sees his truth, he sees his people, he loves, where he came from, not even minding where he was born, where he spent most of his years, So he's a man of the media. He's a man that loves to speak with us. He's a man that's very humble. I remember last time I spoke with him, he said something. I said, legend, if you see me now, age don't they catch me. He said, it's not me too. See my bad hair. He said, see my bad hair. See my hair. Now they talk like that. See my hair don't they come back. See my bad hair. He's a man that doesn't even know that he's a legend. So to me, he's a man of the media, the man of Nigeria. Is a man that Nigerians should celebrate in terms of commitment, in terms of wanting Nigeria to achieve lofty heights, winning.
And talking about playing for the national team, Abiodun, let me take you from what Sanjay just said now. How will you rate his effort with the Nigerian side, the Super Eagles proper now? How committed he was? Do we still have such commitment from players in modern days? The level of commitment, like Sanjay said, we saw from Osase Odewinge, that enabled him win a lot of medals. Maybe not a gold medal, so to say, but that commitment was something a lot of people talked about. That commitment was so good that a lot of people still feel that we can have such commitment from players who play that trade abroad. I mean, the national team will always win something, and truly he won something at every tournament he attended. How do we compare that and what we are seeing?
You know that at the point, Odewinge was actually the most important and definitely the most experienced player we had at that tournament. And now talking about commitment, if Odewinge is in a squad, and many of our present players should learn that now. If he's in a squad, I remember that in that 2008 World Cup at Olympics, at the point it seemed like the coach was not going to play him at some point for personal reasons. If it is today, I know some players that will leave camp. They would leave camp, and you see, despite the fact that he wanted, he is supposed to be best player. The fact that there are some treatment that were not okay, and that anytime he is called upon, he would come. Some players that
is no longer a footballer, and one will be wondering how easy was it to transit from becoming a footballer mentally, something that takes a whole lot of mental toughness, because it takes a whole lot of mental strength for you to make such move. Sunday, let me bring you are very close to Sunday. At what point was that decision to move from being a footballer, because there was no official time he officially retired, like when Yobo retired, we all knew Okocha, there was no official retirement where we celebrated him. All of a sudden, we heard that he was now a golf player. How does that happen?
Thank you very much. I think some of these athletes, they are not so monotonous in their career, but we only know them to be probably versatile in a particular aspect of sports. Okay, let me take you down the memory lane. Olumide Oyedeji, the former the
basketball
Tiger coach, sorry, the Tiger captain.
Mm.
We both graduated from Loyola College, Ibadan, SCI, and then it was our former football captain and also basketball captain, and eventually he became sports prefect. So he must have, in fact, I think this I don't for football I think it belongs. I think it is supporting either Chelsea or Arsenal, you know, and I usually watches their match and all that. And now now at the age now taking two as in toll on him, he no longer the basketballer, but now building some other athletes. I mean, some future basketballer. That's one. Two, Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale was renowned for, he was a footballer as well. Play for Real Madrid, play for all these Tottenham and all that. But when he quit the football, he became I think tennis. I'm correct, or golf. I think golf. He's a professional golfer too. So what I mean is that most of these people, when football is a competitive game, football is a body jam game, is a contact game. But some of other sports, basketball is a contact game, competitive and all that, where you people have to touch yourself, jam yourself, enjoy yourself. But this is an individual game like golf that they probably must have been trained, probably must have been studied, probably must have enjoyed while they are growing up. And eventually when they now leave that contact game, they see that as an alternative. Whilst others are becoming a pundits, coaches, and all that, they try to shift. They switch to where they think is less competitive, where they think that the injury in that appears, so infinitesimally less compared to football. So some of those people, they now shift attention. And when I ask him, okay, PG, they say, when I was growing up, I'm a golfer. I had, access to it. I used to play it together. But then, golf was not as, according to him, he said golf was not that one pronounced. Then there was really not much money, in golf. Then they were not so popular except few ones. So, and he saw the chances brighter in football, and that was why he started with football. Now that is now he shift. Now a PGA golfer. Now he's now doing well in golf, and that one takes his time, and he's also making his money. So it's all about interest over years, over time that someone has been, and when they see that one particular door is appearing, paid or closing, then they shift to where that competitiveness, that injury prone and everything less, and they also live their life on that. I think that was the reason why my brother, my in-law, also say speaks to a professional golfer.
Yeah, at the end of this show, this your in-law thing, you are going to share some of the dollars he's sent to you or to us.
You are going to ask my wife. You are going to ask my wife. My wife is Juliet Odewindi. Now I have to give you that.
Shonaike, let me come back to you now. You heard that song. You heard song they talk about Osaze and how he is able to transit. But then there is difference between talent, okay, and skill. Do you see him as using football to build his career, whereas all the while he's had strong penchant for golf as his area of talent? How do you compare and contrast this transition from being a player, to becoming a professional golfer?
No, I think.
Let me get to Shonaike.
Okay.
Okay. I feel that one, there is a way football can be, is background in football can actually have effect, but then I wouldn't say totally. In that, I think extent of the agility, to the extent of the physicality and all that, that is needed for golf and all that, I think his background in football would be nice, would have done. But then, if you do not actually have a background in golf at all, like you've been playing it for passion and you've been playing it from time, I can assure you that you can easily transit that affair. I was a footballer. If you have not been playing golf before, or even like as a relaxation or something, you can't just wake up and say, I want to transit to golf. I can assure you that you will find it difficult. Now, in transiting, one of the things I will also say is that, like Mr. Monday said, Osase is not actually the first person that would do that, though not everybody has done that. I know at a point Peter Cech, after his retirement, went into skating or something. I know that Shola, that was for Chelsea, I think he went to wrestling or something. And different people like that, I said, who had actually been think of before he became before he retired. But you know, this other thing now to do it, you still have to go and learn the rules. You still have to go to school and all that. And that was why he actually had to go to study the rules, the stuff and all that. And you see that yes, there's a background in football. I can tell you that it is to the extent of the agility and maybe physicality needed and all that. But when it has to do with the skill, they are totally different things. Actually, they are very different.
But he said he has been learning it. He said he has been going for classes while in clubs in England. So in his free time, he enrolled for classes. But he had to go to school formally to be certified as a professional PGA golfer.
So that was why I said that. Yeah, always have a background in it. It's something he has been doing before, maybe at leisure time. Now it is time to transit to it professional. If you are not, if you do not have the background in it, you just say, okay, now I am tired. What sport do I want to do? Let me go boxing. Just kill you. But if you have been boxing, even at a leisure time, sometimes you spar with a professional boxer and other, those ones, even if you are now saying you want to transit, you have the knowledge, you have some, so if you do not have it, transition is not that easy.
So invariably too, it's safe to say that Osaze prepared the aspect of golf as his retirement plan, isn't it?
Well, maybe not. Sometimes you do some things for fun, and then at a point you just see that this could be something, and at another time you might already have had it in plan. So that's why I said maybe not is the only one that can answer that part.
Okay, Sunday, let me bring this to you. Do you think that Osaze actually, like other players, we've seen a lot of players when we were preparing, Okocha came back home, Kanu came back home. Some of them had a lot of stuff they were doing. Bafemi Martin is back home now, trying to put in something. Do you think golf was the retirement plan of Osaze Dewingwe?
No, it is obvious. It is obvious because a civil servant can attain the age of about 60, 65. Lecturer can lecture as much as 60, 70. If possible, if his body carries him to that age. And a lot of other, work, the professional stuff. The engineer can work as, child his life, medical doctor. Even after retiring, if he's working with federal government, after retiring, he can still be practicing privately. So when you see the life of this athlete, they always plan. They have a plan B or a backup plan after the retirement age. I think it takes the grace of God for a footballer or any athlete to play up to 50 years or 40 years. You understand? So, which means that they still have last chunk of years ahead of them after retirement. So, in view of this, they always have something at the back of their mind. The moment they are reaching 30, 32, are they going to be a dealer? Are they going to be a pundit? Are they going to be a coach? Are they going to be probably swift to another sport? So, I think it is no longer debatable if that's his plan B stuff. Because immediately he left footballing. No, it came back to, I mean, it came to shift to golf, and he read. Apart from the fact that he's been learning when he was playing, he exposed to it. Now he went to learn it officially, formally. He read the book just like a coach retiring as a player. Now went for certified coach, went to a class, get the rudiment, get the tactics and everything. He got it. And he registered and is playing, with the and now a PGA golfer. So which means that it is not accidental. It is what they had planned over the years, that the moment my body could not be able to carry me, then this should be my plan B. This grand retirement plan, to fall back on. So it is not accidental. It is not that what we always see here in Nigeria, that God that destiny. Let me not say that. God had destined it as well.
Okay.
Because he knew what he's doing and he's enjoying himself.
Okay. Now
the only thing is just like I said earlier, that when you're a footballer, you might likely be more popular than when you are a golfer. It's just that a lot of people are not really hearing much about the golf as we used to hear, or as we normally hear about football. That's only and now he used football, to come to limelight, to be known worldwide. A lot of people, when you hear Osasio Demenge, they will know that's from Nigeria. But when you get to some country, when you mention maybe Olusegun Obasanjo, maybe you mention what's it called, Goodluck Jonathan, they might not even know who that person is. But when you mention Okocha, when you mention Dewenge, they back quickly shift to Nigeria. So I had that global figure, already, and now, and no matter how, the more you go, they call something diminishing return. Whether you like it or not, no matter how high you are, that person is still coming down.
Yeah.
If it is either it's age, either it's death, age, or career dwindling and all that, no matter how. In Yoruba, we call it Lala Toroke. Thank God Barrister Shonaik is there. No matter. Yes. So that's it.
Okay.
For you not to go down totally, then you need to hold something.
Strongly.
To hold your life.
The environment is very hot. When you think about coming back to Nigeria, you need to plan yourself very well, because the people.
So, but unlike golf, you can't see prisoner playing golf. So, and if you somebody who has not even eaten, who doesn't have 2 square or 3 square meals in a day, can be touching football, and before you know it, become popular, it becomes nation, it becomes a global threat. Unlike golf is, to me, is somehow secluded to the rich in Nigeria. That's just mentality. And until the people high up there domesticate it. But domesticate it, I mean, if they can just bring it to the very low people, to the downtrodden, they make the courts, across every nook and cranny, and they engage the youth. The moment a particular game is known or is associated with some certain caliber of people in the society in such a country, that kind of sport might not be popular as others. So what Osase Odemenge is trying to do, I think it needs to probably meet with the National Sports Commission chairman, that is Malam Shehu Diko, to really discuss this with him. How they are going to, cascade this sport to the very lowest, to the no campaigning, to the very lowest, individual in the society, and that's why he can achieve that lot. Because let's say, for instance, now it is bringing it now. My brother Temple, let me tell you something. The rich are going to be the one to welcome him, and it's going to be limited within them, unless there is a policy in place by National Sports Commission, ensuring that this game is domesticated, to every can let's take for instance, we have 33 local governments in Oyo State. Now, if each local government could have at least a court for God, and there's competition annually, quarterly, where they meet, where winners emerge, and if winners emerge, let the winner Edo State in Port Harcourt, in River State, in FCT, let them also meet. If they have that kind of policy and probably get sponsor, probably they are going to give a kind of all this foreign investor a rebate where they will be mandated to sponsor this kind of game. And your quarterly, no matter how the policy is, then we can now see the golf as a sport, are going up, and get to the higher level as they are being seen in other climes.
Okay, okay, thank you. Let me quickly get to Shanake before we close. Shanake, do you also align your thoughts to what Sunday just said?
Yes, but I'll add another thing. I'll add some things. It's really, really going to be a follow that. In the sector, unlike football, you don't really need a lot of. You don't need so much infrastructure to play football. Even on where normal ground you can play football. You can't play golf in just any place. The question is, how many golf courses do we have in Nigeria? And to build a golf course, do you know how much it costs? And can private sector trust the government to partner with them? There are so many questions. There are so many questions to answer. And unless we are deceiving ourselves, you build interest. But where there is no